comes to us. He's been a franchisee with Michelle's Baguette and Marvelous Muffins, and has some great experiences to share. And I love hearing your stories, Ali. So I'm just going to let you take it away and take us through your journey and your story. Thank you.
Ta-da. I was the only kid in the family from a very, very wealthy father. I graduated from Harvard University. I got my master's degree. My father bought a huge restaurant. It's called Michelle's Baguette. And just threw it at me after school. He says, why don't you go run it? And he helped me with the financial. If I was short with money, he helped me for a couple of years till one morning. It was 8:39 in the morning. The alarm goes on. I realized it was just a dream. I was sleeping and I was late. And I got up. I was in the same problem situation I was before. I'm from a family of 13. I'm son number 2, kid number 7. Very busy father, very busy father. He had to provide enough bread and butter for 13 people. That's a lot of people. And why am I here and why am I doing this is, my father had to work very hard. And he was always absent. I hardly see him. He was always at work. And every time that he was home, he was upset, he was mad, he was angry because of the frustrations of work and business and all those things. And all those things were one thing. And he had another bad habit because he was very tired, he was very exhausted. He used his belt every now and then. He'd show some belt and it was painful. It hurt. It really hurt. And his excuse was, I work so hard, I don't have a patient, and all the story. And he was right. But at the end of the day, he was left with a boy that have scars. Every night I take my pants off. I take the belt out. I remember those days. I still remember. And that hurts. His excuse was, I worked so hard. And I understood it. But who's going to pay the price today for me? That it hurts. I see belt. I go to a shop, I see belt. It hurts. It does hurt. And I decided then and there, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to change my life and other people's life. I'm going to be able to change my life and other people's life. And that's why I'm standing here. The tools I got last 30 years, share with other people so they don't have to go through the same thing. And they don't have to have a kid like see the belt and says, I remember those days. It was always black belt. Always black belt. 1984, I decided to leave Iran because of situation in Iran and the father and back history, and I decided to leave. There was a war, I couldn't leave. I had to get a passport. There was no passport because I have to go to military. Military, war, death, it was the same thing. Stay, you're dying, you go, you're dying. Second possibility for me was to go to the border to the Pakistan. The chances was 50-50 survival. People say 80-20, I say 50-50, that's good enough. 80% you die, 20% you survive. I went through it. 1 week I had to run through the mountain, day and night, to go to Pakistan. In Pakistan, buy a passport, $1,000, take the picture, pay here, pay there, go to the airport, fly to Abu Dhabi, from there to Paris, to Canada. Montreal landed, 1984. Took me 2 months. Here I come in Montreal. They said, okay, you're free, go. They put me in a church to stay, to sleep. They sent me to Vailford to pick up $150 a week to survive. I picked up my money for a few weeks. One of the weeks that I was standing on the line, I was talking to friends. I just said, oh, Jesus. And a lady just dashed out of the office. Jesus? Jesus? You don't say Jesus here. You know how big Jesus is? You know how important Jesus is? You shouldn't call Jesus. I'm sorry, I apologize. No, you can't apologize. Do you know what Jesus said? I'm sorry. She went on and on and on, harassing me. I said, what do you want from me, blood? You come to this country. I said, listen. I took the paper, I ripped it. I put it on her desk. I said, listen, thank you very much. I don't need your money. I get out. I came out. A few days later, I landed in Toronto. I came to Toronto, downtown, no place to go. Thanks the government, thanks to Canada, we have a shelter. 9 o'clock it opens, 10 o'clock is closed, if any of you have ever slept in the shelter. They open at 8, they close at 10. I got into shelters. Days after days, I would sleep in the shelters. I find a place to stay, and I got a job. My first job was at Marvelous Muffin. I got a job after 6 interviews. The guy sent me back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I didn't give up. My eyes was on the price. I have to get a job in a bakery. After 6 times back and forth, he gave me the job. I started. Part-time, 3 days a week, no problem. 3 hours a day. I end up working 5 hours a day. Because right before I finish, could you do this? Could you do that? No problem. But 3 hours pay because it wasn't scheduled for 3 hours. At end of the week, I work 33 hours. I get 28 hours because he was over budget. No problem. No problem. One day he said, Ali, after 2-3 months, we want to promote you to night baker. I said, fantastic. I ran home. I said, Maggie, I got promoted. I'm a night baker. We celebrate. What I did was go night, bake in the morning. I did for a couple of months. Then I got promoted to assistant manager. They sent me downtown to work at downtown. There was some politics going on, and they told the supervisor that Ali this, Ali that, he wanted to fire me. He says, Ali, can we have coffee? I said, for sure. We sat down to have a coffee. I have no idea what he wants to do, what's going on. I start telling him all about, you know, Dave, we should do this. You know, Dave, we should do that. We should change this. We should change that. We got to do this. We got to do that. And with all the enthusiasm I had, he says, hang on for 1 minute. He went back, called the office and says, there is no way I can fire this guy. He's so energetic, excited. Let's give him another chance. It's okay. Give him another chance. They took me to another store, Eaton Center. Became assistant manager, worked my butt out. I bought 12 bottles of wine. Every week was giving it to my manager. Teach me something. My hours was 40, 45 hours a week to work. I worked 80 hours a week. And I gave him a bottle of wine every week. Show me inventory, show me how to do scheduling, show how to order, how to put the package. I learned them all. He was Tony. Tony was a hockey bum. And one day Dave, the same Dave, showed up and says, Ali, you got to do some changes. What do you know? I said, I know everything. The inventory, I know. To do labor, I know. To do package, I know. He says, just give me 2 minutes. He goes in and says, Tony, come. He loved doing that. Give me the key, Tony. See you later. He was fired. Nothing I did. I became manager. I ran the store day and night. 80 hours a week, I was getting paid 45 hours a week. My poor wife was taking English school. I said, Maggie, please come to the store. I know you can't speak English, but come. She came to the store. I opened the store, closed the store that I was manager, I was getting paid 40 hours, I'm putting 80 hours a week. Food costs, never they seen in their life. Low, labor costs low, sales was going up, the store was shining. And the owner was Michael Bregman. He was coming every now and then and check from distance and go. Because the numbers look so good, he'd come and shake hand, and hi, how are you, and chit chat. And we got friends. And he was amazed how things change. He kept talking about me to everyone else and made a huge enemy for me. That you bastard came in and made everything miserable. Because he says, you know, your food cost is 32, you go see Ali, he's 28. Your labor cost is that, you go see him that. Then it was a convention. They invited me for convention, and I didn't even know what convention means. Come to the convention, 120 people sitting, there was a big place. I sat in the front. I was so excited sitting at the edge of the chair. Just, what Michael has to say. He was walking, talking, talking about customers, customer service. How do you deal with customers? Competition. Don't look at your competition. Do the best you can. Don't go see what other people are doing. If they are reducing the price, if they are cutting back on this, stay at your store, do the best you can. Don't change anything. Stay in, do the best you can. And I said, my God, I want to be him. I want to do what he does. It took me 30 years, and now I'm here. 30 years, I've got it. We went back, and I said, Michael, I have to see you. Sure, Michael, I've been doing so great. I need something different. You sell me something, do something. I can't be your manager for the rest of my life. He goes, sure, I have a location at Yorkdale. Come back tomorrow, I'll tell you how it goes. I said, great. Go back tomorrow. He says, it's for sale. How much? I can't tell you the price, but it was $200,000. No problem. The sales, $3,500 a week. No problem. The lease is 3 years. Still no problem. It took 3 months to put the deal together. And the time comes, the lawyers are talking. He says, okay, I'm $20,000, everything's down. I says, Michael, I've been working for you for the last little while. And if I had money, I wouldn't be working for you. So do you think I have money? I don't have any money. He goes, so what do you expect me to do? I said, I don't know. What can you do? He came to the bank, he signed, and says, okay, I'll give it to you. You pay back. I said, fine. 3,500 sales a week, to 4,000, to 5,000, to 6,000, to 7,000, to 8,000. Not as fast as I'm telling you, but it took 3-4 months ago. Every month was 10-15% increase. 3 years lease left. We reached $17,000 within 3 years. Why? How did I do it? I'll give you a little trick. I am an ADHD. Those of you who don't know what ADHD means, that means we are totally disordered. We read opposites, we mix the numbers. My level of reading book is grade 6. That's how fast I can read. And this is ADHD. I forget things. I forget sometimes how to go home. That was an advantage for me because I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to know what the interest rate is. I don't have to know what the policy is going on. I don't have to know what's happening in the city because my brain wouldn't pick up. If you asked me who's the Prime Minister of Canada, I wouldn't know. I honestly don't know. I know Trudeau was one day president, but the vice president. That's all I know. My brain doesn't take that much. But my brain takes one thing. Keep your eyes on the prize. My prize was the belt that I got. One day I'd be able to give what I learned to people. So the belting, either verbally or physically, stop. The guy came to the bank and the sales went up. The store was paid off less than a year, almost a year and a bit. Then I started bugging him about Michel's Baguette. There's a big restaurant, 30, 40 staff, across the hall in the mall, Michel's Baguette. I said, Michael, why don't you sell me your store? He says, you crazy? I said, no. Every week, persistent, every goddamn week, Michael would come to the mall on Saturday, get a coffee and a chocolate chip muffin, and he didn't pay for it. I said, Michael, would you sell me the baguette? He says, no. One day at 6:30 on Friday, the phone rang. That was his secretary. 6:30 in the afternoon, Michael's secretary was very normal. Yes, she still was in the office and she was still working because she was Michael's secretary. She has to work around the clock. Ali, the store is for sale. Wonderful. How much? $2 million. No problem. What do we do? When do we do? Are you interested? For sure I am. Let's put the papers together. 4 months later, everything was done. Came to the same talk. What was the subject now?
No money.
Money. Where is my money? I said, honey, I told you I don't have any money. He forgot. He totally forgot. $200,000 for the sales of $3,500 was 3 times the price. $2 million for the price of the store that I was doing, $17,000, $18,000. This was very good price. I didn't know. I had no knowledge. I didn't know how to do the math together. I said, well, it must be good. How do we do it? I don't know, we'll do it. We took over. Same thing happened. It's no problem. If you default, I'll take your muffin store, I'll take the Michelle's baguette, you'll be working for the rest of your life for me. I said, you got it, Michael. 3 default. No problem. We took over. Mag and I, we work our butt out. We have 2 stores now. Michelle's baguette has salad bar. We have Italian dressing, French dressing, Thousand Island, house dressing. I didn't know shit between the different. If you show me Italian, I swear to God, Italian and Thousand, I wouldn't know the difference between Italian and Thousand Island. I didn't know. The bagel and the croissant I knew, because they told me bagel has a hole. Croissant doesn't have a hole. I knew that much. But were we ever ambitious? We got in there and says, and we didn't go through training. I don't know why. Things happen so awkward because of the money, and we got in. And the first day we had a meeting. It was 12 people sitting, like the head bakers, the 4 or 5 managers, the assistant managers. They sat to have a talk with me. And says, okay, now he's a new owner, let's talk. Come on, Abby. What are you going to do? I'm going to work. Okay, the meeting is over, let's go. I couldn't even talk. Whatever, we were ambitious. I didn't know about the news. I didn't know about what's going on in the country, in the mall, who's coming, who's going. I knew one thing, I have to succeed. I have to succeed for this day. We got in early, we got off late. All we cared about was customers. Just customers, day in, day out customers. People coming with a complaint. They bought 4 sandwiches, tuna sandwiches last week. They came today, they said the tuna wouldn't smell well. It smelled something funny. I said, what do you want me to do? What would you like me to do? I want 1 tuna, the rest money. No problem. Here's a tuna, here's a money. Before she goes, I give her some pastry. Oh, thank you so much. Before she goes, I give her a coffee. Thank you so much. Before she goes, I give her a loaf of bread. Thank you so much. That's enough. Before she goes, by the time she get out, I give her 5, 6 things. She crosses, please, don't do that. This is how I look at my customers. I never ask questions. There's an issue, how, when, no problem, thank you very much. The replacement wasn't enough. Sorry, apology wasn't enough. If they come and tell me the washroom is dirty, something else has to happen. A bagel, a pastry, a coffee. Apology is the smallest and cheapest things to do. And another thing I did was, I'm the king of the sampler. If you ever been in the mall, you ever come to my store, if you don't see a sample on the counter, it is impossible. The sample, the best food, the hottest, the freshest, the most expensive. Coffee, hot chocolate, sample in, sample out. And that was Michael Bregman's idea. I never forgot. Sample in, sample out every day. The only time I get angry at the store is when I come to the restaurant, there's no sample. That's when somebody will die. Somebody will die. Somebody will get hurt. So what happened? There's no sample. What are you talking about? A customer comes, I wonder how's that Danish. You sample that bloody things right away. Don't wait a minute. Don't ask them, do you want me to sample it? Oh, no. Boom, boom, sample. Give it to them. There's no question asked. Customer complaint, no question asked. The soup is cold. Sorry, I warm it up. No, that's cheap. The soup is cold. You warm it up. You have to top it up with something else. Give him a Danish. Give him a complimentary coffee. Do something else. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow, great. Can I have 2 more so, please? So sorry. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. You got to give them something else. That's what they remember. They complain, I stand in line for too long. I'm so sorry. That's not enough. I have complimentary coffee card in my pocket. 40, 50 a day. But I share something with you. Those complimentary coffee, 20% are used. 80% goes to the garbage. I promise you. I promise you. The only thing that card does is when they get it, they go, wow. That's what you need. You need 4 or 5 wow the minute they come into the restaurant, the minute they go. You need a half a dozen of wow. It doesn't matter how you create it. You create the wow, and like in advertising. I gave him a card. He says, what about my wife? He says, what do you have? He says, oh, my cousin is here. He says, your cousin? What else do you want? But I monitor. 20% will come back. 80% won't. You just go to the garbage, you go to the wallet, they change the wallet. Even if they come back, I want them to come back. I want them to come back. We moved on to recessions. 1992. That was a recession, 19 to 21% interest rate. Zip. But thanks God, Ali was an idiot. Didn't know the interest rate is. I didn't even know what interest rate means. Never mind what interest rate is. You go to gathering, you talk to people. Do you know what interest rate is? They all become politicians and they all know everything. I think if government does do that, and if I think the price of gas is, wow. With that much knowledge, you're driving a Honda? You know, what do you know? They know everything. I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't want to know. Because I couldn't know. All I knew was get in, do their best, keep my eyes on the prize, and get out. Day in, day out. That's all I knew. Interest rate, 19 to 21%. Restaurant was going bankrupt left, right, and center in 1992. On the newspaper was huge. 6 restaurants, 20 restaurants, 50. That was just a topic. I read them years after. I wasn't interested. Because I knew if I start thinking about those things, my eyes goes off my price. My price was leaving Iran, going to Pakistan, like a hijacker, go around the world to come to Canada, put my life in danger. I can't do that. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. I went through hell to come here. My mind, I kept my eyes on my prize. My prize was make sure everything is paid off, make sure I grow, make sure I am stable, make sure I can get out and talk. 1992, the recession over. I survived. Another thing, the mall sent us a letter. Dear Ali Ghadimi, please be prepared for an audit. Okay, I know what audit means. They came to an audit. Cost me $3,000. 4 years later, I find out why they did an audit. You know why they did an audit? Ali was dark, Iranian, Afghanistan, drugs, comes, goes. Maybe he's smuggling something. How could he be over that much? Something is going on. Something is happening. Double digit. The whole move was down double digit. Ali was up double digit. Something is funny. Let's get him. Let's get the sucker. $3,000. That was okay. I survived. Anything I touched into gold. The reason is I had my mind, kept my mind on my price. I knew what I wanted. 2000, Alta McCowan from head office. There's Ali, there's a store in Ottawa, is bankrupt. They walked away, they dropped the key, you can have it. You can have it if you pay $20,000 or $40,000 franchise fee, then you can have it. I'm so idiot. If I would have bargained, I could have had it for free, but I didn't think. I said, fine, we'll take it. I moved right in there. I walked in, $11,000 sales, $12,000, $13,000. It was going up by week. Few weeks later, there was the mall manager's name was Joe. He was short, bulky. He says, Ali, are you here 6 o'clock in the afternoon today? I said, yeah, let's go for a walk. Let's sure. He showed up at 6 o'clock. We went for a walk. In Rideau Center, Ottawa, 3rd floor, there's a major Mackenzie road that is 500,000 people pass by. Is a transit road. There was a bagel shop open, he closed it, and he says, the bagel shop, why don't you take over? And this is great, I'll go. This is cool. I'll take it over, but between you and me, don't say anything to head office for now. Sure. I took over, the next day I start throwing product upstairs. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Then I called Alton. Alton, there is an opportunity here. I didn't tell him that I'm in an opportunity. There's an opportunity here. What do you think we should do? I explained to him, he says, that's great, very good. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And I said, I sort of been doing it for the last 6 weeks. This Ali, you shouldn't do that, but that's okay. By the time they put the act together, design, lease agreement, everything, almost 7, 8 months passed. The guy never asked for rent. He says, why don't you take it over? It's closed anyway. We'll see what happened. I took over $7,000, $8,000 by then. I made enough money to do renovation. And downstairs was doing 16, 17, 18, 19. We went up to $27,000, $30,000. It was just going up like crazy. How did the man found me? Because I was, in what I did, I was so pure. It was very visible. I am very sincere, hardworking man. I have such a great energy. The way I dealt with the customers, the way the sales was going up. He just threw it at me. The reason Alton threw that store to me is because I had it. He says, why don't you have it? By the time they put the paperwork together, the $40,000 that they wanted, I made it from the store before I gave it to them. So it was all zero cost to me. The muffin was zero cost. Baguette was zero cost. First store was zero cost. It's not because I'm smart. I'm an IQ of probably grade 6. It's not that. It's the ambitions I have. My eyes are on the prize. The prize is what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. How did I do it? Rule number 1, I never spoke to anyone who wasn't qualified. I don't go around saying my sales are down. My food cost is down. You have to be qualified to talk to you. Are you in business? Are you good? You go talk to people about a marriage. Hey, Jerry, I have a marriage problem. Who's Jerry? Jerry gone through 3 divorces? He's going to give you advice? I don't think so. So you got to find the right Jerry to talk to about marriage. His business is the same thing. I have to qualify them. I never spoke to people who talk negative. Especially they don't know shit about politics, about economy, and they're giving me lecture. What do you know about interest rate? What do you know about retail? What kind of advice they give you? I have some friends who don't punch in and they make a lot of money. Oh, is that right? Okay. I have some friends who buy the stuff from, oh, is that right? I never stole a penny. Not from government, not from franchisor, not from anybody. I don't need that. I'm big enough, strong enough, I can make the money. I can make the money, and I have. Keep your mind on the price. And that was my price. Look where you're going. Look where you want to be. I knew where I'm going to be. 30 years ago, I knew I'm going to be here. And here I am. Proudly, here I am. How did I do it? Very simple. The language. The language we use among each other. We get together with the franchisees. What is the hottest topic? Franchisor. Oh, they did this and they did that and this. Never, ever done it before. Never, because it doesn't serve me. Not if they're good, not if they're bad. It doesn't serve me. If it doesn't serve me, I don't need to do it. Speaking of franchisor, we've gone through 6 franchisor last 30 years. We had a franchisor from Mary Kay Cosmetic. They were running our business. Can you imagine that? With what background, what knowledge? I've been in business for 10, 15 years back then. They're coming telling me what to do. With respect. Hello, sir. no problem. What do you think I should do? I never fight them. I never argue with them. What do you think that has to be done? Can you have any idea for me? I always respect them. I never had an argument mentality. I knew everyone has an idea in terms of business. For me, 6 franchisors, one after another. How bad could it be? They all come from different mentality. One came from Cineplex. One came from Mary Kay. And it's just, it was just awful. It had to be there. I survived. I survived because my eyes was on the prize. Yorkdale. How far did we go? We went to 2000? 2004, we bought TD Center. We bought TD Center. We took over. Within 6 months, the sales went up 10%, 15%, 20%. 2015, 2016, they took that store from us and they closed down. They didn't renew a lease. We took another store from head office in Commerce Court. And that was a dead dog store. It was like 10, 15 years. A handful of people get in, get out. They went bankrupt. It was the hands of head office. They gave it to us. This is yours. It was mid-December. Mid-December, now it's almost 2 months. 115 bloody % we were high, up. Yes, 2 days ago, the sales was 130%, 135% up. Well, how the hell did we do it? We don't fight with anybody. We don't argue with anybody. We go into the store, we see what has to be done. The trick is, still when we go back to Toronto, we walk in exactly the same way we walked in 30 years ago. The ambitious, the eyes, the looks, everything. We never age. Back to basic. How did we walk in at the beginning? The same way. Nothing changed. We walked in, not like, oh, we know it all, we have it all. We had a little meeting among us and other managers. What did we do? We should move that showcase. No problem. What do we move? We move down here. We don't need to upgrade. And people come and say, we've never seen this store here. Is it new? It's not been here for 15 years. 15 years. The other tenant, this is a food court. They come and they says, you never seen lineup here. What are you doing here? Well, I don't know. You tell us what are we doing here. The place is spotless. The staff there are just, wow. The guy comes in and says, sorry, I forgot my wallet upstairs. And says, no problem. Take it. Would you like a croissant? No. Okay. The guy goes. He comes back. He gives the card. He says, well, thank you so much for trusting me. Somebody asked, how do you train your staff? There's nothing to train. When fish stinks from the head, if I am so pure with my customers, they see that. They see how I look after my customers. One of the biggest problems we had was people go to other Michel's Baguette. They come to us. I went to so-and-so stores and so-and-so happened. I'm sorry is not enough. They sit down and eat. Give them a big double knot. We have a huge bread. We call it challah bread. They're $5-6, probably cost us $1.50. Definitely one bread goes there. We apologize. We're sorry. Well, it's not your fault. Why not? I just want you to have a good experience. When the staff sees me, what do you expect from them? We're literally kissing their back day in, day out. Competition. Second cup came to Yorkdale. I went there, give him a hug. No kiss, just hug. Because we kiss in Iran 3 times. Give him a hug. Welcome to Yorkdale. If anything you need, I'm here. You're the best buddy ever since. They took 13% of my sales when they walked in. It's okay, Maggie. That's all right. I'm just going to say, Maggie, what are we going to do, Maggie? 13% is a lot of money. What do we do? Okay, tomorrow. 10%, 3%, 0%, back to positive again. I don't know where the customer comes from. Are we taking from them? I don't know. The mindset is, we got to be up. If you're not up, single or double digit, it doesn't work that way. Guess what? Starbucks came, 4 stores to the north. Second cup is 6 stores to the south. We're in the middle. Starbucks has a lineup. We're in the middle. Mikey, what are we going to do? I love challenge. I die for challenge. I walk in, this is Ali, the mixer is broken. It's like, great. What's so great about it? Let's look into it. I love challenge. That's an attitude. I get up in the morning. I say, God, you want to punch me? Punch me hard. I bounce back faster than you punch me. This is the attitude. Nothing pissed me off. Nothing. Except samples, though. Except samples. If I come in, there's no samples there, I'll be pissed off. Beside that, nothing pissed me off. That's retail. It is retail. I had a friend calls us, I want to get into retail. Okay. He's making $60,000, $70,000. He wants to get into retail. How's our timing?
Yep, we're going to wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. Yeah. He wants to get into retail. Why would you want to get into retail? It is tough out there. It's difficult. You really have to have the love and passion to get into it. This is your 2-year-old baby that never grow. Always a 2-year-old baby, day in, day out. If you don't have it, get out. But if you have it, like me, I love it. I love every second of it. If it's ever possible to give me $1 million for one day experience of my past, 1 million one day, I would say no. I am very am because of those experiences. I wouldn't be who I am without that. And thank you.
Thank you.